Hello and good day to all of you. So as in the previous lecture, we have learned about the planets, and in categories we have divided into two, which is inner and outer planet. So in this video lecture, we are going to discuss about the inner planet, which actually close to the sun. So what are those planets? So it is include the Mercury, Venus, Earth and Mars. Prior to start the lecture, so we have two learning outcome for this lecture. So the first learning outcome of this video lecture is to understand deeply about each and every planet of the solar system. So specifically in this lecture, we will be looking into the near or inner planet of the solar system. And the second objective of this video lecture is to understand the planet's rotation, revolution, temperature, surface structure, and many more about the planet. So as I mentioned, the first planet of the solar system, which is nearest to the sun and comes into the inner planets, is the Mercury. So the name as identified is actually inner planet of the solar system. So what are the features? So if you look at the name of this Mercury, so this name Mercury was given after the messenger of the Roman gods, which is Mercurius. So then it converted into Mercury and god of commerce, and also it is meaning the messenger of gods. So now we look at the position of the Mercury. It is actually the closest to the sun, and moving to the temperature of the surface of Mercury. So there is a large variation in day and night time because of the nearest to the sun and the composition of Mercury. So in the daytime it goes up to 400 degrees Celsius, and in the night time it goes up to 180 degrees Celsius. So but it is very hot. I mean 180 degrees Celsius is a very high temperature, because at 100 degrees Celsius you have the boiling point of the water. So but it's a large difference, because it goes up to 400 and 180 is a large difference. So it is actually the smallest planet in our solar system, and it's nearest to the sun, and Mercury is only slightly larger than the Earth moon. So it's a similar, or I mean slightly larger to the Earth moon. Further, if we're looking at the Mercury's properties, so from the surface of the Mercury, the sun would appear more than 3 times larger as it does when we view from the Earth. And the sunlight would be as much as 7 times brighter. Why? Because it is nearest to the sun. So despite its proximity to the sun, the Mercury is not the hottest planet of the solar system, because as you will be thinking that it's closest to the sun, but it is not actually the hottest planet of the solar system. So that title actually belongs to the Venus. As we have discussed in the previous lecture as well, we are going to discuss in more detail when we are discussing the Venus as well. So thanks to its dense atmosphere, because the atmosphere is quite dense on the Mercury, so that's why it does not preserve a lot of temperature on the surface of the Mercury. And it is also the smallest, and its orbit is most not fully circular. So, and it does not have any satellite, like the Earth has one satellite like Moon, and Venus has 2. Sorry, Mars has 2. And there is no water or atmosphere at the surface of the Mercury, and its orbit around the Sun once about 88 Earth days. So like the Earth revolves around the Sun in 365 days, but The orbit of the Mercury is actually 88 Earth days, and there is no season on its surface because there is not really the the atmosphere or the water or atmosphere on the surface of the Mercury. Now moving to the second planet, which is Venus of the solar system, and also it is called the wheeled planet. So the Venus is called the wheeled planet because it is covered with thick clouds. So that is why we called it as a wheeled planet. And its orbit around the Sun in 225 Earth days. So like if we are comparing to the orbit or the revolution of the Earth is 365 days, so this one is taking 225 days, and it is the brightest and hottest planet of the solar system. And another fact is that the name of the Venus was taken from the Roman goddess of love, and also it's mean that love and beauty. And the Venus reached its maximum brightness shortly before the sunrise or shortly after the sunset. So this is known as, or you must have heard this. It's called the morning star or evening star. So Venus is known as the sister or the twin planet of the Earth because of its similar size and mass to the Earth. Now we're looking at the Earth, which is the beloved planet. So this is also called the blue planet. Why it is called the blue planet? Because it's 70% of the surface is covered with the water. So that's why it's called the blue planet. And it reflects about 1/3 of sunlight what it receives. So that's why the temperature of the Earth is much lesser than the other planet which is surrounded by the Earth. And the Earth atmosphere scattered the light and create a blue effect. So it is also called the blue planet. So that is also one of the factors how it reflects the lights in which colors. And it is only the planet where we have the human life exist, not only human life but other organisms also exist on this Earth. So if you're looking at the orbit of the Earth around the Sun, it takes 365 days, which is actually 1 year of the Earth, and it rotates about its own axis, which creating a day and night, and it takes 24 hours to do that. So obviously it's revolving and also rotating. So revolving contain or its affect the seasonal changes, like you have the shortest day and the largest day, and also you have the summer, the winter. So this is the effect of the revolution. But rotation effect is actually to change of the day and night. So that takes 24 hours. So it revolves around the sun due to its tilt. Seasons are created, as I mentioned, because this is tilted, the Earth is tilted. So because of that, there is seasonal changes, and also due to the gravity, the layer of the gases remain attached to the Earth's surface, and which is called atmosphere, which is around 400 kilometers around the surface of the Earth, and it prevents too much heat and ultraviolet rays coming from the sun, which is reaching to the Earth. So the beauty or the blessing to the Earth that we have a very thick atmosphere which prevent us from the ultraviolet rays and also the higher heat. I mean, obviously the heat must be quite high what we receive on the surface of the Earth. This is because of the atmosphere. It reflects back all the heat and ultraviolet rays. And there is only one satellite of the Earth which is named as Moon. So now moving to the Mars, which is actually also named as the Red Planet. So this name of the Mars was named after the Roman gods of war, and it is often described as a red planet as because of the iron oxide prevalent on its surface gives the reddish appearance because of the surface material. Also, Mars has approximately half of the diameter of the Earth. I mean, it's half of the diameter of the Earth, and it has two satellites, and the gravity of the Mars is half of the Earth. So it's mean like if you go to the surface of the Mars, so if you are 60 kg at the Earth, then you will be 30 kg on the Mars. So that is the effect. And if we're looking at the atmosphere of the Mars, so it consists of about 95% carbon dioxide and 3% nitrogen and 1.6% carbon, and contain some oxygen and water. So that's why you will be looking at the news. So people are moving to the Mars because there is an oxygen and water. So that is actually the possibility of life at the Mars. And Mars also has the largest dust storm in the solar system. So like we also have some dust storm, but it's not that heavy. But at the surface of the Mars, it is much more heavier dust storm. So with that's all. Thank you so much. I mean, we have discussed about the inner planet. For the outer planets, we are going to discuss in the next lecture. Okay, thank you so much and have a good day.